Okay, let's switch over to PDHPE. What are your big tips and strategies for that? You came first in the state, so people are going to be desperate to know, well, what did you actually do throughout the year and how much did you study for that one? Did that require more or less work than others? Try and kind of take us through the journey there, again, at the different stages of the year in terms of note taking and preparing before assessments, assignments. What was your approach there?
Yeah, well, obviously PE is such a content-heavy subject that it's really unreasonable to think that you're going to learn the syllabus a week before the exam because it's just not going to happen. So a big piece of advice I would say is to learn the syllabus as you go. So when you're writing notes in class, really try, I mean, it's hard, but try and get it in your head because it's just going to be so much easier when you come back to it, to like remember.
Mhm.
And I mean, everyone says this, but practice questions really are the key because it is such an old syllabus. There's kind of not many more questions that they can ask, and all the questions that they are going to ask are basically already on the syllabus.
Mhm.
So by the end, when like right before my HSC exam, I actually had a document, bless my teacher for looking through it. That was pages and pages long, and I had done a practice question for pretty much every syllabus dot point there
Wow.
was for the topics I did, which is very extreme, and I probably wouldn't recommend everyone to do it. But it was helpful because I knew that whatever I got, I was prepared, and yeah.
Wow. No, I mean that's the way you were making sure you had every base covered, right? And I
Yeah.
think if you're going for that top mark, that's the only way to do it. If you and you said mentally you knew it was possible, you thought, why don't I just try and get that? If you were doing that, it makes sense. You need to be ready for every possible question, which means covering every possible syllabus dot point. So I like that approach. Run us through the note taking. Were you a hand writer? Were you a typer? Did you do a bit of both? How did you present your notes?
Yeah, I was definitely a typer because there's a lot to cover. I had a like big document for each topic. And
Hmm.
then another thing that really helped me in PE is mind mapping. My room was just a PE haven by the end of the year with them all up on the walls. But yeah, it really, I found that helped me like sort of compartmentalize all the different bits, especially in like factors affecting performance in I don't know, like physiological adaptations. There's just so much to remember, but you need to know it in quite a lot of detail because, I mean, they could ask you a five marker on one adaptation.
Yeah.
So I found mind maps really helped me sort of differentiate everything and also seeing it visually and having it up above your desk and constantly looking back. I know I would sort of try and not look and test myself on the different areas of the syllabus to make sure I knew them.
Mm.
So yeah, mind maps I found were really good.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And in terms of studying before the trials and the HSC, how much time did you give yourself to start, going through all of the dot points, doing those practice questions, and yeah, how much time do you need? And was there anything else that you were doing in that period that was important?
Yeah, I found that to do my big old question document, I needed about like I'd say like 4 days for each topic.
Okay.
Um Obviously not spending all of those 4 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it does take a long time because there is so much content to cover. And I mean some things you just know that you know, so you don't
Mm.
really have to bother. But yeah, obviously practice papers is really good. They are quite long, so bear that in mind. Sometimes I would do half of it and then come back and do another half that afternoon or something like that. But yeah, PE does require quite a lot of time, especially because it's kind of rote learning. So yeah,
Great. So, kind of key takeaways: don't leave it anything to last minute with PE. You have to
definitely.
keep the notes going throughout the whole year. If you're seeing this now and you're already a term and a bit in and you haven't been getting all the notes together, start catching up now would be the advice, it seems. And also then go through each dot point, make a question out of it, and write a practice answer to it. And if you can get your teacher to look at least some of it, then that's obviously going to be really helpful. Would you say that was kind of like the secret sauce? Like that was the key thing you did is do a practice answer for all of these dot points?
I don't think I would say all of them because in retrospect, I probably didn't need to do that. But definitely looking at them for parts of the syllabus that you're unsure of because yeah, I mean probably like I'd say like up to seven per topic is a really good place. I think if you've done that, you should be feeling really prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, focusing on the things you're unsure of and making sure you get feedback from your teacher.
What about the kind of extended responses there? Have you got some kind of guidance there that you can provide structurally for students when they're doing those longer answers?
Well, obviously they're for the options. So I think having a really good understanding of the syllabus is important because for some of them, if you don't touch on every part of the syllabus that they're asking you to touch on, you won't get the marks. I know that was the case in our trial. And obviously they're very lengthy parts. So sometimes there could be like 5 sub dot points under what they're actually asking you for, and you need to be able to recall every one of those 5. So yeah, in that way, memorizing the syllabus as much as memorizing like your notes and your examples is really important, because even if you get into the exam and you can't think of what it's actually about, as long as you've referenced it, then they can appreciate that.
Great. And any other advice for current PDHPE students?
I don't think so. I think that's
Kind of, that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good summary of it.